to read some Greek mythology to you today. I've decided to read a bit about Heracles. Not the entire story, but a small portion to help us relax. I hope you enjoy it. Heracles at the Crossroads. Heracles left the shepherds and their beasts and went to a solitary region to consider what his course in life should be. Once, as he sat pondering, he saw two women of tall stature coming toward him. One was beautiful and noble, with modest mien, and her robe fell about her in folds of stainless white. The other was full-bosomed and seductive, and the whiteness of her skin was stressed by powder and tinctures. She carried herself so arrogantly that she seemed taller than she was, and her gown revealed as much of her charms as possible. Now she complacently regarded her own person with bright, vacant eyes. Then again, she looked around to see if others were watching her, and often she gazed admiringly at her own shadow. As they approached, the first did not quicken her step, but the other crowded past her and ran toward the youth, with whom she at once addressed. "Heracles, I see that you are undecided what course to take in life. If you choose me for your friend, I shall guide you along a path most smooth and easy. There is no pleasure you will not taste, no discomfort you shall not avoid. You will not be concerned with war or other hardship. You shall think of nothing but the enjoyment of exquisite foods and wines, of indulging your eyes, your ears, and your whole body with pleasant sensations of sleeping on a soft couch. And all these joys will be yours without labor or effort. Should you ever run short of the means for leading this manner of life, do not fear I might urge you to bodily or mental toil. Quite the contrary, you will reap the fruits of another's labors and refuse nothing that could bring you profit. For I accord my friends the right to use everyone and everything to their own advantage." When Heracles heard these seductive promises, he asked in astonishment, "What is your name?" Whereupon she replied, "My friends call me Happiness, but my foes, to humiliate me, have given me the name of Idle Pleasure." In the meantime, the other woman had approached. "I too have come to you," she said. "I know your parents, your gifts, and your upbringing. All this leads me to hope that if you choose the path I show you, you will become a master in all that is good and great. But I have no slothful choice to bribe you with. I shall tell you the will of the gods for those on earth. Know, then, that the immortals grant nothing to men without effort and toil. If you would have the gods look upon you kindly, you must honor them. If you would have your friends love you, you must aid them. If you would be held in esteem by a city, you must render its services. Would you have all Greece admire you for your virtue? You must become the benefactor of all Greece. If you would harvest, you must sow. If you would wage war and win, you must learn the art of warfare. If you would have control of your body, you must work and sweat to harden it. Here, pleasure interrupted her. Now you see, dear Heracles, she said, what a long and hard way to satisfaction this woman proposes, while I will guide you to happiness by the shortest and easiest of paths. Miserable creature, said Virtue to her, you have nothing that is really good. How could you? You do not know true pleasures, for you are sated before you even approach them. You eat before you are hungry and drink before you thirst. To prick your desire for food, you seek out resourceful cooks. To sharpen your urge to drink, you purchase costly wines. In summer, your whim is for snow. No bed is soft enough for you. You let your friends spend the night in carousing and the day in sleep. That is why, in youth, they go adorned, on nimble, carefree feet, but drag themselves through a sordid and painful old age, ashamed of what they have done, and faltering under the load of what they have still to do. And you yourself, though you are immortal, are an outcast among gods, and an object of derision among good men. You have never heard what sounds sweetest to the ear, true praise. You have never seen what gladdens the eyes more than all else, good works of your own. I, however, am welcome among the gods, and all virtuous men. Artists hail me as their helper, fathers as a faithful watch, serving men as kindly aid. I am an honest sharer in the pursuits of peace, a faithful ally in war, and a loyal companion in friendship. Food and drink and sleep have more savor for my friends than for idlers. The young are glad when the old commend them, the old when they are honored by the young. To recall what they have done is sweet, and they rejoice in what they are doing. Because of me, the gods cherish them. Their friends love them, and their country respects them. And when the end has come, they do not fade into oblivion. Their glory lives after them in the world, in the memory of times to become. Resolve, O Heracles, to choose this life, and yours will be a blessed lot. The first adventures of Heracles. The apparitions vanished, and Heracles was alone. He determined to walk in the path of virtue, and soon found an opportunity to do a good deed. At that time, Greece was still covered with forests and swamps inhabited by savage lions, raging boars, and other dangerous beasts. To clear the country of these monsters and to free it from the robbers who lay at wait for the traveler in lonely places was one of the great goals of the heroes of old. Heracles was destined to continue this work. When he returned to his people, he learned that a fierce lion had his lair on Mount Cytharion, at whose foot herds of King Amphitryon were pastured. The young hero, Virtue's words still ringing in his ears, made a quick decision. He armed himself, scaled the wild, wooded mountain, overcame the lion, flung the skin over his shoulder, and set the gaping jaws on his head as a helmet. As he was returning from this quest, he met the herald of Erginus, king of the Minions, who had come for the shameful and unjust yearly tribute exacted from the Thebans. Heracles, who now regarded himself as the champion of all the oppressed, made short work of the messengers, who were already guilty of many abuses, and sent them back to their king mutilated and with ropes around their necks. Erginus demanded that the culprit be delivered to him, and Creon, king of Thebes, was inclined to obey for fear of his great power. But Heracles persuaded a number of brave youths to go against the enemy with him. In no dwelling, however, were arms to be found, for the minions had removed all weapons lest the Thebans revolt. The Athene summoned Heracles to her temple and fitted him out with armor of her own, while the youths took from the temples the weapons their fathers had won in conquest and dedicated to the gods. Thus equipped, the hero and his little group of men marched towards the minions until they reached a narrow pass, where the vast army of the foe was of no avail. Erginus himself fell in the fight, and his entire host was beaten and dispersed. But in the fray, valiant Amphitryon, the stepfather of Heracles, died of a fatal wound. After the battle was over, Heracles swiftly advanced toward Orchomenus, the capital of the Minions, forced his way through the gates, burned the king's palace, and destroyed the city. All Greece admired his extraordinary courage, and Creon, king of Thebes, rewarded him by giving him his daughter Megara to wife, who later bore him 3 sons. His mother, Alamene, married again, taking for her second husband the judge Rhadamanthus. Even the immortals showered gifts upon the victorious demigod. Hermes gave him a sword, Apollo arrows, Hephaestus a golden quiver, and Athene a brazen cuirass. I think that's all I'll read for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't do a terrible, terrible job of pronouncing the names. I know they're not perfect, but that's okay. I still enjoy the story. I hope you do too. Thank you. Enjoy your